We've just done our first lesson in relation to present simple active to passive. But the rules I've written here aren't for present simple active to passive. They are for all tenses in order for you to be able to move any tense from active to passive. So I'm going to pop this on Facebook for you to remember. I'd like you to remember this. We've applied it today just to present simple, but next week we're going to apply it to a different tense and see if it still works. So this is what I've written today. When you change a tense from active to passive, the first thing you need to do is make sure that the object of the sentence becomes the subject of the sentence. Then you need to check to see if there's an auxiliary verb somewhere there, because we do sometimes use auxiliaries. And if there is, you need to make sure you use it. And that will become clearer next week when we start moving into different tenses. But make sure you use it, but not the auxiliary verb do. We never use the auxiliary verb do in a passive sentence. Ever, never, ever, okay? The next thing you need to do when you've done this first thing and checked the second thing is then to add the verb to be. And we need to make sure we do it in the correct tense. And I've just listed out some ideas here. If it's a present simple, we need to add am, is or are. If it's past simple, it would be was and were. If it is any continuous tense, it will be the word being, always. And if it is any perfect tense, it will be the word been. But we're going to look at that in more detail next week. And then the last thing we need to do is to change the main verb to the past participle, which is really why it's really important for you to learn all those irregular verbs. Keep the sentence the same. Make sure you add all the words in that were there before. And if you want to, you can also write the person who did the action, but you don't have to. Now over here are the example sentences that we were looking at. And just have a look at this example. Mike teaches English 3 times a week. It's in the active at the moment. Here's the object of the sentence. Now this object becomes the subject. We added the verb to be, and we then put in the past participle. And then we just added the rest of the sentence with the subject, the old subject, if you wanted to. And that's the key to this. It's just making sure you add all the things that are there in the first place. And then making sure that you add the verb to be and change the main verb to the past participle. That's basically all there is to it. You've done the work here, which I'm not going to go through. It's just a case of remembering the rules and learning how to change it from active to passive. These sentences were not easy. You did not just positive, but you also did negative sentences, like a book isn't read before bedtime. You did questions, short questions, are you picked up by your mum? And you did long questions, when are you picked up by your mum? So this is everything you need to learn. And next week we're going to go one step deeper. Thanks.